And it's live again. It's Will's Take on Sports. I am the host, Will Walker. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me this morning. Getting ready to do this podcast. 10-21, going to preview the World Series. Going to look into what happened in the F and the L over the weekend and also in college football. So many interesting outcomes. That team, Wisconsin, got upset by the fight in Illini. Illinois pulled the upset. Congratulations to Lovie Smith. Big time win for Illinois. Big time win. Maybe Wisconsin was looking ahead. They got Ohio State this weekend, so maybe they were peeking ahead just a little bit. 18, 19-year-olds never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in college football. Before I get into the World Series and talk about that matchup, great pitching matchup. Going to talk about that a little bit more in depth here shortly. But let me go ahead and tell you what I thought about what happened in the F and the L yesterday. In Atlanta, Jalen Ramsey and the Los Angeles Rams were able to come to town and absolutely beat up the Atlanta Falcons, probably chasing Dan Quinn out of town too. He might be on that flight joining the Rams. I don't know if he's going to L.A. or maybe he's at the airport, but I know this much. He is in trouble. Falcons are having a very disappointing season, and a lot of that has to do, at first it was with their defense, but yesterday their offense didn't show up. I saw this scuffle yesterday between Devontae Freeman and Aaron Donald. Not very smart by Devontae Freeman. I've never seen this in a game. That boy Aaron Donald picked up Devontae Freeman. Picked him up off the ground as they were getting into a shuffle. Devontae Freeman took a swing, got ejected out of that ball game. Rams are going to be decent with Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if he's going to be able to carry them and push them over the top, but I know they will be a decent football team. This now gives Wade Phillips the great opportunity to be able to just lock down one side of the field. Jalen Ramsey is that dude. He is that type of cornerback to where he will lock down one side of the field and allow them to play zone everywhere else. That's a tremendous help to any defense. And the Rams, they look like a decent offense again yesterday. They tried to get Todd Gurley going. He had some yards. He did score a touchdown. And Jared Goff was sufficient, needless to say. I can tell you who was not sufficient. That was Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely getting the doors blown off of them in Dallas, Texas yesterday. I don't know. I picked the Eagles to be my Super Bowl team, but they are not doing anything that looks super right now. They are struggling. They are now 3-4, a game behind. Well, you could say 2 games behind the Cowboys right now, unless they're able to get even with them when they get them at Lincoln Field later this season. But yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys were able to redeem themselves. And one of the questions I'm asking, last year the Cowboys went on a 7-1. They finished the second half of the season 7-1 after they acquired Amari Cooper in mid-season last year. And they were able to get themselves together. They looked like an offense. They looked that way yesterday. They finally was able to play a little bit better defense. They have been struggling during a 3-game winning streak, and they were able to get it. I'm still saying that the Cowboys will not make the playoffs, but I could be wrong, and I could be out of some money because I got a bet that the Cowboys will not make the playoffs. But anyway, I'm going to call it like I said. The Cowboys played well yesterday. Give them credit for what they were able to do. Another team that surprised me in their road win was the Baltimore Ravens. Earl Thomas was able to get some form of redemption. He was hurt last year in a game with the Seahawks as he was in a contract dispute with upper management. Then he was hurt. I don't know if you recall this or if you're a sports junkie that like myself, you probably remember him giving Pete Carroll or the Seattle Seahawks sideline a half a peace sign as he was carted off the field from being injured. But he was able to get some revenge yesterday. Russell Wilson did not look like the MVP yesterday. He had his struggles. He threw a pick 6 to the newly acquired former Ram, Marcus Peters, as he jumped that route and took it up the Seattle Seahawks sideline. So wasn't expecting that outcome. I really thought Seattle would be able to I thought Seattle was legit. Not saying that they're not, but they're not. But they just didn't have a good game yesterday. As that hype train is going to come crashing down, as everybody's going to analyze and try to give us or give their thoughts about that whole situation. But anyway, the Ravens were able to do it. Quickly turning this thing to my Miami Dolphins. They played tough. Fitzpatrick actually kept the team in the ball game. The defense kept the team in the ball game. But a lot of that has to do that Buffalo just is not that stout of. They're just not that good of an offensive team. They're okay, and I think that's going to be their harm to why they're not a legit Super Bowl contender. I think they're a playoff contender though with that defense. They were able to come back in the second half of that game and really took control. The Dolphins got a late score to make it look respectable. Kicked the onside kick, and the guy took it back to the house. I don't think you're going to see any team get an onside kick with the new rules. You can't get a running start. I don't think it's going to be really hard to see anyone get an onside kick with the way they got the new rules set up. Let's see any other interesting stats. That boy Aaron Rodgers just went slap off yesterday. He just went crazy against the Oakland Raiders. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. And kudos to Green Bay. Now they got a defense. They can run the ball, and if they can get get these receivers back, especially Devontae Adams, they would definitely be legit. But they got, Jimmy Graham is starting to look a little better playing. I guess any wide receiver will look good playing with Aaron Rodgers or playing with a superstar caliber quarterback. This is a quarterback-driven league. And when you have guys like an Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes, unfortunately Pat Mahomes got hurt Thursday night on a quarterback sneak. Never seen that before. But back to Aaron Rodgers, if you have a quarterback that's that caliber, you give yourself a great opportunity to win. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and I remember Dan Marino having no defense, no running game, but the Dolphins were at least, I would say, guaranteed 4 wins just because how great Dan Marino was. The rest of that team was not up to par back in the 80s with Dan Marino, but Dan Marino was just good enough to give you at least 4 wins. And I think that's almost the same equivalent with Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or these type of guys, man, because they're just that doggone good. They really are. And Aaron Rodgers proved it yesterday. Big time game by the Packers yesterday. Cousins, Minnesota, still doing well at quarterback after his receivers called him out. Cousins has been playing real well. Can't take that away from him. They criticized him. They gave him some heat. Now get a dude some love. Give him some love because the Minnesota Vikings have kind of, I guess you could say, turned around. So now that NFC North is really going to be interesting. Detroit ain't no scrub team. They're not a scrub team under Matt Patricia. They're looking like a very solid ball club. Tough schedule, is attributing to why they're having their difficulties in the one-loss column. Another team that got in the left column yesterday, the New Orleans Saints. Teddy Bridgewater is holding down the fort until Drew Brees come back. New Orleans put up 36 points on Chicago. 36. That's really amazing that they were able to do that. Michael Thomas, hey, he is what he is, man. He was able to get his yards and really be a difference maker against that Chicago secondary. That's something to say. And Teddy Bridgewater, like I said, he's holding down the fort. Don't blame him for not signing. I don't blame him for not signing with the Dolphins. I don't blame him. The Dolphins had no offensive line. That man said he would rather be a backup. Buddy said, I'd rather be a backup with the Saints than the quarterback, the Miami Dolphins. And that was before the Laremy Tunsil and Kenny Stills trade. Wow. Great foresight by Teddy Bridgewater. Got to give him that. Let's see, another outcome. The Chargers are not. They're falling back to earth after their tremendous season last year. They look like an average team. They lost on the road at Tennessee. San Francisco is still undefeated as they went to the nation's capital and won in that Mud Bowl that happened with Washington yesterday. San Francisco's front seven is legit. They probably are the best front seven in football. Their defense is playing well. They're doing just enough, and they did just enough yesterday. I mean, it was just really hard. It was really tough conditions yesterday. Indianapolis was able to beat Houston, give themselves a chance in the AFC South. Jacoby Brissett played well. Somebody told me before, after Andrew Luck retired, don't sleep on the coast because Jacoby Brissett is legit. Jacoby Brissett is from South Florida, where I'm from, and so I guess I got kind of a rooting interest for him a little bit, not a lot, but I really didn't see him doing the things that he's doing now in regards to being able to replace Andrew Luck, to be quite honest with you. All right, let me turn my attention over to the World Series. The Astros, Jose Altuve, bottom of the ninth, 2-run jack, score tied 4-4 in that Game 6 of the American League Championship Series, and he was able to move the Astros on to the World Series. Where this matchup between the Astros and the Nationals, this is going to be outstanding pitching. Matt Scherzer is going to be going up against Garrett Cole in Game 1. Game 2 will be Steven Strasburg going up against Justin Verlander. Before I get into that preview, guess what? And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but the Detroit Tigers in 2012 made the World Series, although they did get swept by the San Francisco Giants. But anyway, the Detroit Tigers had 3 of the pitchers that are pitching in this current World Series. Hannibal Sanchez, Matt Scherzer, and Justin Verlander were all teammates, all the pitching rotation for the Detroit Tigers in 2012. 2 of those guys are pitching for the Nationals, Hannibal Sanchez and Matt Scherzer. The Nationals have used pitching, timely hitting, and good defense to make it through the National League part of the postseason tournament. So can they keep that going against this Astros team that is loaded? Not only do the Astros have great pitching, as Jose Altuve, Springer, Bregman, Correa, Michael Bradley Jr. This team, this is a deep Houston Astros team. They actually look better to me in this postseason run, or in this Major League Baseball season, than they did when they won the World Series in 2017. They won Game 7 2017 in L.A. This year they have home court. They have home field. So here's my question about this World Series matchup. Will the Nationals get enough offense? I see there's already been placed out there that this is the biggest underdog in World Series history. But can the Washington Nationals do what the L.A. Dodgers did back in '88 against a vaunted Oakland Athletics offense or team? Will they be able to do that? Will they have a bulldog, Oral Hershiser? They definitely have the capability with the pitching of Scherzer, Strasburg, Sanchez. They definitely have that type. They definitely have that type of pitching. But will they be able to get hits off the Astros pitching rotation with 220-game winners with Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander? Will this be an upset, the likes of the L.A. Dodgers over the Oakland Athletics in the '88 World Series? We will find out. We will see. Before this postseason tournament started in Major League Baseball, I picked the L.A. Dodgers to go ahead and finally capture a World Series. They are not in it. They lost in the first round. Well, they lost in the division series. But I did pick Houston, which wasn't a real stretch. But I did pick Houston to make it to the World Series. But since one of the teams that I picked is a participant in this year's World Series, I'm going to say that the Houston Astros go ahead and capture it. I don't think it'll be as lopsided as some people think. I think the Nationals pitching will keep them in the game, and they just need timely hitting in order to maybe get, I'll say 2 games. I'll go 4-2 Houston. That's not no big-time proclamation, or that's not no shock, really, given the fact, like I said, Houston's a juggernaut. This could be a team that could be on a dynasty run because those guys are young. Altuve, Springer, Correa, Bregman, they're all young. It's a young team. AJ Hinch he's got AJ Hinch is the manager. He's got a solid squad. I mean, a really solid squad. So good luck to the Nationals, but I think the Astros just have too much on offense alone, and then their pitching also. So I give them the 4-2 series win. All right, let me get into college football. What happened over the weekend? Like I said, Wisconsin was upset. I guess you can say that this is a must win versus Ohio State this week. They're going to travel to the Horseshoe. Can they get it together? They probably were peeking ahead, looking ahead to that matchup. It would have been interesting if they came into that game undefeated. They definitely would have been ranked high, but they suffered an upset against Illinois. So can they get it back together and get their season back on track? Can their defense get back on track? Can their offense and their running game get back on track? Because Ohio State is legit. That is a legit squad. I know they haven't really played anybody, but the teams they played, they've absolutely mollywopped. They've absolutely dominated. And if they dominate Wisconsin, they should be ranked number one in the country, I would think. But the other team that I'm really interested in is they're just playing in a weak conference. I think their only really tough test was Texas, and they were able to handle that ball club. And I asked the question, should they be the number one team based upon what the outcome of their games and what they look like? Honestly, I say no, because they just haven't really played any stiff competition. You can only beat who's on the schedule. That's all that is. And they have looked very good. I've got to give Jalen Hurts some credit. He is looking like he can really throw the ball this season. He's having a good season as far as his passing stats. No, he can run the ball. That's a given. That's what he did when he quarterbacked Alabama for 2 years and took them to back-to-back bowl playoff national title appearances. But he's showing that he can actually throw the ball. And I got to give Lincoln Riley some credit. I'm going to say it's 70-30 credit goes to Lincoln Riley. 30% goes to Jalen Hurts. This is no slap against Jalen Hurts, but Lincoln Riley has taken a walk-on, a former baseball player or baseball prospect, and now a running quarterback and made all of them look like prolific passers. Well, they all put up great passing stats, and this guy could possibly be the coach of 3 straight Heisman winners. That guy's gonna be able to demand whatever he wants from NFL or college. I'm talking about Lincoln Riley. He will be able to, and with a possibility with Atlanta. I don't think they pulled that trigger yet and got rid of Dan Quinn, but he's going to have his opportunity to write his own ticket. Lincoln Riley will. He can drive the price up on Oklahoma, make them sign a lifetime contract for him to stay there, or he going to demand some serious money when he get to the end. If Cliff Kingsbury, who is a 500 coach in college, can get a job in the F and the L, just basically because he was Pat Mahomes' coach, or basically the fact that he recruited or he had a relationship with Kyler Murray. And kudos to Kyler Murray and the doggone Cardinals. 3 wins this year in 7 games. They got 3 wins all of last year. I know the schedule. I get it. Yeah, the schedule has been kind of weak. But 3 wins for the Cardinals. Wow. Chase Edmonds. Who was he? Didn't even know who he was. Wish I'd have known. I took him in my daily fantasy that I play every Sunday. But anyway, then we got back to Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma Sooners. Yeah, they've looked like the Oklahoma Sooners as, over the last couple of years. And this year, Jalen Hurts is keeping the ball rolling. He's got it. They're still rolling. That Boomer Scooter or whatever that thing is, it wasn't rolling. It capsized over. That's not funny. It capsized over. But anyway, that seems to be the only flaw as far as Oklahoma this year. My Miami Hurricanes, Dan Enos, God bless you. I don't understand it. I really don't. But I didn't expect anything from the Hurricanes this year anyway, and it was just simply because they can't block. That's really what it comes down to. Miami can't block. And apparently can't stop the run either. It's Saturday proved. Can't kick. Just a horrible showing. Just a horrible showing. And even with all those miscues, they still had an opportunity to win. Miami's lost the games. Lost 2 games by 7, 1 game by 4, and another game by 3. So they've been competitive. They haven't been just totally wiped off the planet. It's just that it just 3-4. 3-4. I really only expect the Hurricanes to win 6 games this year. I didn't think they would be, no 8, 9, 10, no 8 or 9 game winner this year. I thought they'd only win 6 games. I just didn't know where the 6 losses would come from. But that was tough to watch. Let's see what else in college football that has piqued my interest. Tua injured, high ankle sprain, should be out 1 week. Should be back in time for that LSU matchup. LSU plays Auburn this week. LSU was able to just went to Mississippi State and just again they're slinging the ball all over the field. This is not the LSU that I know. And if you are a college football fan, this ain't the LSU you know. They are slinging that football all over the doggone field. Give Joe Burrow some credit. He transferred out of Ohio State, got his opportunity at LSU, and he is making the most of it. I was a fan of that kid after I watched him play the Hurricanes last year in the season opener. I was like, wow, LSU has a quarterback to go along with that defense. They got a quarterback, and he has stepped his game up big time this year. I think he's giving himself a chance to be invited to New York for the Heisman Trophy presentation. Can he overtake Jalen Hurts? If Jalen Hurts stumble, but if Jalen Hurts keeps putting up the numbers that he's putting up, and Oklahoma keeps dominating the way that they have been so far this season, I think it's Jalen Hurts' Heisman Trophy. I think he will give Lincoln Riley his 3rd straight Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback. Again, I'm gonna re-emphasize this: a former walk-on, a baseball product, and a running quarterback all are putting up great passing stats in Lincoln Riley's offense. I'm telling you, Lincoln Riley is going to be able to he's going to be able to demand whatever price he wants. It doesn't matter. That is some serious business. All right, the NBA is going to start this Tuesday night. They're going to start off with the Pelicans and the Toronto Raptors, and then that battle in LA. But first, Zion Williamson not playing this week, probably going to be out for a little while as he's going to try to get healthy. Will it be a waste of a rookie season for this kid? Will he do a Blake Griffin and a what happened to Ben Simmons? Miss his entire rookie season due to injury. Zion Williamson's got to lose some weight. He's got to lose some weight. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've told him that. It's got to get down a little bit. I mean, he's still a freak of an athlete, but the stress of an 82-game season, it's just I don't think he can carry that much body weight. I'm not saying something you guys haven't heard, but he does look a little heavy, and that might have something to do with the knee issues that he had in the summer league and he's had in the preseason leading into this NBA season. So maybe that may have something to do with it. Him and Joel Embiid need to go see that. Go see that weight loss doctor Jennifer Hudson saw. Not Weight Watchers. Just that doctor. Staples, so something. I don't know. get them jokers. Not to slim all the way down like her, but just to lose some of that weight, help them boys be able to stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. Some big boys, man. Great athletic ability. They just gotta control that weight. Anyway, the Raptors are gonna be the defending champion. They're gonna raise that banner. Kyle Lowry and crew. Congratulations to Pascal Siakam for getting that extension. The Raptors, if you listen to my NBA preview show, I said they'll be competitive this year. I think they should make the playoffs, barring they don't make any trades and purge their roster and rebuild. But with the way their roster currently is right now, they should be a playoff team. I don't expect them to go back to the NBA Finals and defend their title, but I expect them to be in the playoffs, and I expect them to absolutely dish rag the New Orleans Pelicans in Game 1. We are the North. Should just take care of the Pelicans, whether Zion is there or not. I think the Pelicans are going to be young and exciting, but that may be just a tall task on opening night. And the game that's going to be probably more hype than anything else. Can't wait till Tuesday night, 10 o'clock, so that hype train can go away. The L.A. Lakers going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. It's going to be Kawhi versus LeBron. Yeah, I know AD's in that game, but it's Kawhi versus LeBron. Will LeBron guard Kawhi, or will Kawhi guard LeBron? Or will this just be a glorified preseason game? Basically, not that much intensity, no playoff intensity, or will these two teams try to set the tone? I know one guy who's going to try to set a tone. That's Patrick Beverley. He only knows one way to play, and that's hard. But will the intensity be there between LeBron and Kawhi? That's the question. And will they guard each other? And is this a preview of the Western Conference Finals? I say it is. A lot of people say it is. But what are we going to see? I know one thing I don't get. The L.A. Lakers beat the brakes off the Golden State Warriors in a preseason game last week. Steph Curry didn't play. Kevin Looney didn't play. Alec Burks didn't play. Willie Cauley-Stein didn't play. They basically beat Golden State's, I guess, G League team. Guys, they're going to send it down to the level, except for Draymond and D'Angelo Russell. They beat the brakes off of them. And the question I saw is KD and is AD and Anthony Davis and LeBron James too pick and roll too dominant? Oh, wow, the Lakers look like a juggernaut. They played a G League team. And then there was no story covered when AD and LeBron missed the next game. When the Clippers, they ran it back. AD and LeBron missed that game. They played with Jared Dudley. Who else? Some other guys. Jared Dudley and some other guys. And, okay, Steph Curry comes back. D'Angelo Russell. And Steph goes off. And then the Warriors beat the brakes off the Lakers. How could you get anything from those two games? It's the preseason, for crying out loud. And to be honest with you, I think the NBA preseason lasts all the way to on the first of the year, to the turn of the calendar. Because the saying since I've been a kid is the NBA, they don't play hard until March anyway, or until after the All-Star break. They basically just go through the motions because it's such a long season. That's why I said tomorrow night, I don't know what we're going to find out. Are we going to get playoff intensity from the Clippers and the Lakers in that game? Is that a tone setter? I don't know. It's not really a tone setter because they still got 81 more games to go. But given that all that hype that's been given, and this is supposed to be LeBron James' comeback season of the ages or whatever it is, and AD is going to be on this. AD is going to show, him and LeBron are just going to be unstoppable. We're going to see that in game 1. You know what I'm saying? I know we live in that what have you done, that this instant analysis society. And I know that's going to be it's going to be just, oh, my God. If the Lakers dominate the Clippers, the Clippers got problems. Game 1 of 82 games, and the Clippers will have problems. And Paul George is not playing tomorrow. I seriously disagree with that. But we'll see. All right, guys, that's my time. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to download and listen to the show. I really appreciate it. Listen to the show on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn app, iHeartRadio, Google Play Podcast, Spreaker website, and mobile app. Also, AnchorFM.com. You can now listen to the show there. Really appreciate the downloads and the listens. If you listen to the show on any platform, Facebook, Twitter, or any of the platforms I just mentioned, leave me a comment or like it. Also, subscribe on Google Play Podcasts. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Really appreciate all that. I close this show the same way every single time. Say a prayer for somebody, because prayer changes things. I'll holler. I'm going to talk to you again on Thursday morning. Be easy. Be safe out there.